What's going on, everyone? Welcome and good morning. Today is Thursday. It's April 21st, 2022. My name is Jeremy. This is my first cup. Good morning to Liz and Nathan and Tommy and Jenny and Brian and Andy and all the rest of you, whether you're watching live later or listening. Thanks for coming by. How are you? How was Wednesday? What did you do? Did you have a good day? Did you train? I kicked some things around here. That was the extent of it. And I went to the gym. I worked on some flexibility. I could do some kicking over there too. So not a ton of martial art, but a little bit. And he says, awesome sunrises. Yeah, I don't know if you guys on your side of the state got what we got over here, but the color coming over the mountains was just awesome. It was great. Really loved it. Someday I want to go, let's see, I think it's Cadillac Mountain in Maine. That is the first place in the U.S. that gets the sun and a sunrise. Or is it Baxter State Park? It's Mount Katahdin. It's one of the two. And if I'm remembering correctly, it depends on the time of year. But either way, it would be kind of cool to be one of the first people in the country to see the sun that day. I have friends who have done that. It's kind of neat. Good morning, Stacy. Tommy trained and taught 4 classes. Nice. Good stuff. Well, today I'm fading down to here with this. Look at that face. How can you not love that face? That's a face. He's a thief. I don't know how he got tucked in my blanket either. Look at that sun like washing me out completely. That's fine. Let's see, where would I go? We'll go right here. No. I don't know. We'll do this. This is a little better. Yeah, so at some point this morning, mid-morning, late morning, I'm supposed to be headed out. They're going to let me know. Everybody loves the dog. Yeah, he is adorable. We've had a pretty good time. It's I love dogs. I think most of you know I love dogs. And this has been an opportunity to remind myself why I don't have a dog right now. Because just running out. So go to the gym, we do all these other things. It's not exactly convenient. But I get to hang out with other people's dogs, and I'm quite fine with that. Jenny says she mostly did chores and made a lemon pound cake for Matt, did Lilith's laundry, and it came out with weird mud smears on most of the stuff. So yay, I get to rewash everything today. Well, I hope it's actually mud and not mud. People think I'm weird, but I will pre-wash clothes. If they're dirty, I just throw them in the shower. I shower with them until they're not dirty, and then I wash them. Because it's easier. Who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody recently, and we were talking about the subject of the things that I do, the little things that I do that compound that help me get a lot done. And that's a good example of one of them. I'm going to spend as little time as I can pre-washing or pre-soaking. I do have a bucket that I'll sometimes throw like dish soap in, Dawn, right? Like for grease stains, but I do that as infrequently as possible. But yeah, if I come back, if my boots are real dirty, they go in the tub. They just get washed there. And Jenny says, I'm telling myself it's mud, period. End of discussion. And Stacy has laughing emojis. Not mud. Oh, that's a shame. I'm sorry. Yeah, so the new countdown music, we're getting flagged for copyright on YouTube. We got flagged for copyright on Facebook. All right, you want to stay there. You're fine. I'm going to sit on the floor. There we go. We got flagged on Facebook for the original music, and now we're getting flagged on YouTube. So I'm going to look for a different song. And by different song, I mean, I'm probably going to count down myself and go 30, 29, and it'll probably be really annoying. But I don't know. Maybe I'll look for something else. I'm annoyed that these people The music that I downloaded was from a website that is rights free, royalty free. Like there's no legal reason a company can make the claim that they're making, but because nobody had made a claim, somebody out there made a claim, which means any advertising that went up against us, against these first cup episodes, which last I knew we weren't doing, they would get the revenue. And there are companies out there, and that's like their whole business model, is that they just grab as many rights as they can, and they just sit back and collect the revenue off the ads. So, lamos. We are on. This is not convenient. I'm not going to remove this. All right, I think this works now. Okay. We're on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch today. So just a reminder to all of you, please create a Twitch account and please follow whistlekick. Please. It is Thursday, which means we should have a new episode of Martial Arts Radio. Let me check it out. Well, we will. It may not be there yet, but I'm going to do the new thing I'm doing where I just go to Dropbox and I look at what the episode is instead of hunting around YouTube. Today's episode, drumroll, 703 is Q&A number 14 live. So for those of you who, Stacy says, Andrew and Tommy, drum us in. So for those of you who do not get a chance to check out the live recordings of those Q&A episodes, hopefully you have fun. Hopefully you can see the difference. I like doing these shows where we get some live kind of real-time feedback. It's fun. And if you have questions for the next Q&A, you should message Andrew. You should email him, Andrew at whistlekickmartialartsradio.com. You could also Facebook message him if you know how to find him. If you have a question, if the only way you can think of doing it is getting it to me, you can put Jeremy, don't read this in the subject line and send it to me, and just make sure that you put like some gibberish at the top of the body of the email, and then just put your question down below, and I will forward it on to him without reading it. Jenny says, no promises, but my son is a musician and is skilled with software like GarageBand. Yes, that is what it's called. He writes random beats in his spare time. I'll ask if he has time to create something. That would be awesome. I would love it to come out of this community. Stacey says, a bunch of us flooded Andrew with questions. I hope that's true. I like doing the Q&A episodes. I like answering questions. It's fun. I spend so much time interviewing people that I don't get a chance to be asked questions myself. And I'm not alone in that. There are times when we have podcasters on as guests, and I ask them questions, and they turn it around. They ask me questions. It's like, wait a second, this is weird. What else am I doing today? Oh, pardon. Big yawn, big stretch. I'm gonna cut my hair because look how long it is. I have a networking event, meaning business mixer sort of deal this evening. Doing that and prepping for tomorrow. So tomorrow and for the weekend, I will be around tomorrow morning. Have a call with one of you to talk about your entry into the team and what you're going to do. And I'm super pumped about that. Stacy says, oh my God, there's a shadow. Was it a shadow of me, or is that a dog shadow? I don't think there's a dog shadow. So this weekend is Master Terry Dow's symposium in Manchester, New Hampshire, which is a hair shadow. I don't quite know what you're saying, Stacey, but I believe you. That's a fun event this weekend, Friday night through Sunday morning, Manchester, New Hampshire. And Bill Wallace will be there. A bunch of other people that I know, a ton of the people who've been on the show will be there. Andrew's coming. I'll be rooming with Paul. Andrew and I are doing some all-in weekend prep stuff, kind of on the side while we're there. And it's just going to be a fun event. I'm also doing, those of you who remember, had the kind of professional photos done in the fall. I will be working with that photographer again for some gi photos, some uniform photos. Oh, oh. Stacy says, I was trying to be funny about your hair being so long it had a shadow. I failed. Well, it's because I don't understand what hair does. Good morning, Mark. But I'll be working with Zach again, and we'll be taking some photos of me, wearing a gi somewhere. So that's tomorrow, late morning, and training starts at 4. So I got to throw a bunch of stuff in the car. Will not be taking the Jeep because highway miles and gas mileage. I'm going to ride in the studded snow tires on the RAV4, and it's so much quieter. Stacy says his photos are great. Yeah, he did a phenomenal job. Jenny's making fun of me. I don't want to grow hair. Hair takes too much work. I don't need it. It's not keeping me warm. Anything else to say? I don't think there's anything else to say. Okay. So let's switch over. Pardon me as I yawn. And where's my tab? Okay. So Frank sent over some quotes from Stephen Covey, and Frank and I often on our calls he references Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey's great. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which I read forever ago and don't remember. Make small commitments and keep them. Be a light, not a judge. Be a model, not a critic. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. And I've been saying this for quite a long time. Think of the collective time and energy that goes, good morning, Josh, that goes into complaining, that goes into pointing out where other people are failing. What if we invested that time, even a portion of that time, into productive things, into solutions? And the example that I can give, and this one I don't remember the numbers anymore because it was years ago. You guys remember Farmville? Remember when Farmville was a really big deal? The number of hours that went into Farmville, just Farmville, if those people invested the same time into gardening, would have fed the world or something ridiculous. It was an insane number of hours. And so this is where I try to focus. If I see a problem, I observe the problem, try to understand the problem. Can I fix the problem? Yes, then I'm going to fix the problem. Take care, Amy. If I cannot fix the problem, I move on to a different problem. And a very large portion of the world remains with the problem, complaining about the problem, demanding other people fix the problem. That doesn't really work that often. Yes, but if you complain loudly enough, other people, that's you fixing the problem. Instead of just complaining on social media, grab other people that want to fix the problem. Create critical mass. Find what's an appropriate organization to bring attention to, right? There's a way. There's always a way. Most people don't want to invest the time. Kelly says, or Pokemon Go. Same idea. The only upside to Pokemon Go is that it's fun. I don't think anybody's enjoying complaining. They feel like they've accomplished something, but they haven't. And at least Pokemon Go gets people moving around. Tommy says, I play that because my students are on. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. Even worse when people complain. Do I want to say this? He's snoring. Can you hear it? When people complain about what others are doing, and then they're doing the same things. or even worse things. I'm not going to name specific examples, but I'm sure you can come up. Number 2. To achieve goals you've never achieved before, you need to start doing things you've never done before. And this is one that just makes so much sense to me, and people seem to struggle with that. Well, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to do this. Okay, what are you doing differently to get there? If you want to be a black belt, you have to train like a black belt. You can't train like a white belt for years and become a black belt. You have to change the way you train. It's I've said this before. I don't know anybody who's earned a black belt that did not do training outside of class. May not be a ton of training, but it's there. And I think this is part of why people are not so goal oriented, why most people, I think it's most people, aren't striving for new things, new skills, new jobs, new whatever, because it requires changing things up, requires different efforts and often additional efforts. And a lot of people aren't, they just don't want to do it that way. They just want to be content with what they've done, and that's fine. So long as you don't complain about what you have and where you're at. And then number 3, all broken relationships can be traced back to broken agreements. Hi, puppy. He woke himself up. Communication is the hallmark of everything that we do. Everything in society comes down to communication, and good communication can build bridges. It can do lots of wonderful things. Bad communication can destroy everything. Communication should be a priority. If someone is, I've got this rule that if someone is upset, if there's anything emotional in a conversation, in an exchange, if I'm in a situation with someone and one of us is upset, including me, it needs to move to in-person discussion, if possible, phone call, worst case. Because text and email leave too much variability for interpretation. And more importantly, people aren't generally effective at writing their thoughts. And it's really a shame. Because people will read them and they will interpret them through their own perspective and their own understanding. And that's how friendships and relationships end. And it sucks. So there you go. Now, in the context of martial arts, because this was a martial arts show, communication is important. And I think it's one of the big differences between a new instructor and an experienced instructor is the quality and the depth of the communication. A good instructor will explain a lot of things. Here's what we're doing. Here's why we're doing it. Here's what I want you to watch out for. Here's what you're striving to accomplish in this drill, etc. And then also providing feedback. Tommy says it always comes down to communication. Nothing will ruin a relationship of any kind faster than unmet expectations. Absolutely. And those unmet expectations, false expectations, where do those come from? People reading their own things into the agreement, the unspoken agreement, usually, and being upset. How do you solve that? Good communication. There we go. All right, now over on Facebook, I posed a question to all of you. Name one benefit of martial arts training that you wish non-martial artists could, quote, have. Think of it like a wish. And we had a couple answers. I'd love to hear from the rest of you. Jason said following directions. I agree there. And Stacy said confidence and community. Martial arts training certainly helps you follow directions. And it certainly gives you confidence and helps you build community. So I'm right there with you. Oh, where my tab? I'm right here. There we go. What's up, bud? Can you see him like sliding off the couch? You're such a goober. What are you doing? Hi. He's a cutie. Well, would you like to answer some questions from the people? No? Kelly says, when students are 6 months from black belt rank, they get invited to black belt boot camp, where it's all outlined what is expected. Plus, it's fun. It kind of jumps up training. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. That's a great idea. Additional training. Always more training if it's good training. What? What do you smell? Do you smell you? That could be the dog from the gym. Stacy says he wants lovin's from you. Well, he has been in my lap much of the time. He's a good boy. Guinness. We had a couple more Guinness last night, didn't we, Guinness? He misses his people, I can tell. And the sun's in my eyes again. Right here. We'll go here. So I'm curious, from any of the rest of you, if you could kind of wave a magic wand and non-martial arts people could take one lesson or skill from training, what would it be? Would it be confidence? Would it be community? Would it be following directions? Would it be the ability to tolerate painful sun in the eyes? Anything? Anybody? I think for me, if I could do that, it would be the confidence. The confidence in doing things that you're not really good at. Trusting that if you work on them, you'll get better. I think a lot of the problems that we have in society root back to that. Oh. People not feeling like they're good enough. People not feeling like they're able to take those risks professionally, personally. And when I think about my risk tolerance, it's much higher than most people's, and it comes back to martial arts. Stacy says, breaking down walls with hands or feet. Kelly says, increasing self-worth. And Tommy says, turning fear into curiosity. Ooh, I like all three of those for different reasons, of course. Good stuff. Well, I'm going to hang out here, do a little bit more email. I plowed through a ton of email yesterday. A few more that I'll do. Then I'll wait till I get the message from these guys with their ETA. I'll be gone before they arrive, but we'll hang here with him for a bit. You are half off the couch, bud. You're good. Jenny says, the bond you build with training partners is amazing. It would be great if more people treated each other that way in real life instead of pushing away those with different opinions and views. Yeah, completely agree. And she's laughing at her own comment, real life. Yeah. When you train people, you come to understand them. They understand you. You have something in common. And that bond, the bond, we joke about it in a lot of our social media posts, but the bond of punching or kicking someone and being punched or kicked by someone or thrown or whatever, that there's something there. There's something, I don't want to say intimate, because that, one, people often define that word differently than I mean it. But two, it's a different kind of bond. But there is a bond there, and if I was more awake, I would probably be able to find the word for it. There's a bond. Getting punched in the face creates a bond. Not James Bond. All right. I'm going to go. I hope you have a great day. I hope that you'll respond to the thing that I'm going to put up in Facebook to talk about for tomorrow, which is Friday. Woo! And I'm sure Frank's going to provide us some amazing jokes. Thanks, as always, Frank, for all that he does. And to all of you for watching and supporting. Kelly says, where else can you start a sparring match with a hug, kick each other, and then end with a hug? Yeah. Totally. Remember, we do this show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, on Facebook, on YouTube. Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays, it's Twitter. Tuesdays and Thursdays, like today, it's Twitch. If you have questions or comments, for tomorrow, you can email me, jeremy@whistlekick.com, but ideally you respond to the thing that I put on Facebook, in the Facebook group, First Cup with Jeremy. And if our mission to connect, educate, and entertain means something to you, grab something at whistlekick.com with the code FirstCup15. Maybe support our Patreon and get exclusive behind the scenes content and information at patreon.com/whistlekick. And if you want the whole list, which gets updated once a week, as well as additional exclusive behind the scenes sort of stuff, whistlekick.com/family. If you're part of the family, you should be checking that page out weekly. We all get it. All right. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate every one of you, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Peace.